Hiya.
Hiya.
Hi Jennifer.
Hiya.
Have you both got your assessment cards?
Yeah, I do actually, yeah.
It's a bit crisp.
That's all right, that's fine. Thanks,
Yeah,
Jeanette.
mine is as well, sorry.
That's all right. Thank you. I'll give you those back at the end. Okay, how are you both? All right?
Yeah, very
Good.
good, yeah.
Ready to start the briefing?
Yeah.
Brilliant, okay. Just some introductions for you. I know you both. My name's Tina, senior crew member, and I'll be working as the number one today. You both met each other before?
Yeah, we flew yesterday
Yeah.
actually.
Okay. Just to let you know who the flight crew are. They are over there. I'll introduce you to them shortly. We've got Captain Robert Corrigan and First Officer Frank Lloyd. Okay. The aircraft registration. Let's have a look. We're on Juliet Romeo, which is 700. And we're going to Faro, so Luton Faro, Faro Luton, and it's the EZY 2021 and 2022. Scheduled time of departure is 19:25, arriving at Faro at 2200, departing Faro at 22:30, back in at 01:25, and that is an on-time slot. So we're all running on time at the minute. Passenger figures are estimated 126 outbound, 132 plus 2 inbound. Weather conditions are good en route, and working positions. Jennifer, I've put you as a number 2,
Okay.
and Jeanette, you're the number 3.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Can I just make sure that you've both read your notices to crew and all signed up in
Yeah,
the book?
I've done.
Yeah. You read your memos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Checked your drop files. Good. You've both got your calculator, tongs, money pouch, ID, high-vis jackets,
Everything.
cabin crew manuals,
Yeah.
and passports.
Yes.
Good. And you've both signed in on the computer.
Yes, I did.
Brilliant. What we'll do is we'll start off with some SEP and then first aid questions.
Okay.
What we're going to do is we're just going to do a scenario between the three of us and we'll just talk through what we'd actually do. What we're going to concentrate on today is a pre-planned emergency landing. So the scene is we're in flight on the way to Faro. Okay, we're out on the service.
Okay.
So we're out on the service and we hear senior cabin crew member report to the flight deck immediately, or it could be the 3 double chimes. So on hearing this, I will disengage from my duty, stow my trolley away, and I will head towards the flight deck. So what would you do then at this point, please, Jeanette?
It's cabin crew 3. I'll be nearest to you, so I would leave the trolley with Jennifer and I'd make my way up the front to guard the flight deck door whilst you go in.
Great, okay. And Jennifer, what would you do?
I'll be putting the trolley where I'm securing the galley and make my way to the forward galley to wait for you coming out.
Brilliant. So I'm in the flight deck and I'm receiving my briefing. What kind of briefing do I actually receive from the flight crew at this time, please, Jennifer?
It'll be the NITS briefing, which is the nature of the emergency, attention of the captain, time left remaining, and any special instructions.
Brilliant. So then I'll come out of the flight deck once I've repeated it back to the captain, and then I will tell you what the NITS briefing is that I've been passed. What would you do then, Jeanette?
We would both repeat back to you what you've told us
Great.
to show understanding.
Brilliant, okay. And then we go on to the emergency PA. So for the emergency PA, I'll be at the front and I'll actually be reading the emergency PA. So as a number 2, Jennifer, where would you be at this time?
I'll be standing in the overwing.
Great. And Jeanette, where would you be?
I'd be stood at row 1.
Brilliant. So what would you be doing while I'm actually reading the PA? What would you be pointing out, Jennifer?
We will be pointing out the exits
Yeah.
on board and the floor lighting and just monitoring passengers
Brilliant.
for the reaction.
Excellent. So once I've actually read the emergency PA, what would you then do in your areas of responsibility, Jeanette?
We'd need to make sure that the passengers had understood from the emergency PA how to fasten and unfasten their seatbelts, brace position and where their nearest exits are, and we'd do that in our own areas of responsibility.
Brilliant. Can you just tell me what rows are in your areas of responsibility, please, as a number 2, Jennifer?
I'm responsible for row 17 to 25 and the rear galley.
Brilliant. And Jeanette?
I'd be doing 7 to 16 and the rear toilet.
Yeah.
Not
And-
at that point.
Yeah, my rows are rows 1 to 6. Obviously, I'm still responsible for the forward toilet and liaising with the flight crew. Great, so we've done the emergency PA then, and then we go on to briefing ABP. So could you just tell me how many ABPs and what doors are you briefing ABPs for, Jeanette?
I'd be briefing 2 per exit and I'd be responsible for briefing ABPs for the overwing exits in the
Great.
centre.
Brilliant. Jennifer?
And I'll be briefing 2 per exit if possible, which are row 25 C and D where they're sat, 1 extra, and the rear doors.
Great.
2 left and right.
And I'll be briefing 2 ABPs per exit for the forward doors. Doors, 1 left and 1 right. Okay, so we've done our briefing of our ABPs. What's the next point on the drill then, Jeanette?
The next point we do our final cabin secure check.
Great. So after the final cabin secure then, what do we do next?
Jeanette would pass her check to myself.
Yeah.
I would tell you, you would inform the commander and probably check how much time we have remaining.
Brilliant. So once I confirm with you how much time we've got remaining, then I'll sort of just liaise you to what we can actually do. We probably will do exits once
Okay.
again, but obviously on time permitting. So once we say we've repointed out the exit, then what happens then?
Going to dim all of the cabin lights,
Yeah.
so all of the lights will be off and ceiling lights on night.
Great. Who tells us to take our landing positions, Jennifer?
And there'll be a peer from the commander, seeing cabin crew take up landing positions at 1,000 feet.
Brilliant. And then what's the next point in the drill, Jeanette?
Again, it would come from the commander. They're going to say over the PA, brace, brace, and we would start to shout, heads down, stay down, and adopt our emergency brace position.
Great. How long would you shout heads down, stay down, Jennifer?
Until the aircraft has come to a complete and final stop, because there might be more than one bump.
Brilliant. So that brings us on to open, operate, exits and direct. So will you just take me through how you'd actually open your door, Jeanette?
Okay, before opening it, I'd check outside for any obvious hazards, any uncontrollable fire or smoke that might obstruct the exit. I'd make sure the girt bar was still engaged in the floor brackets, and then I'd open the door, and as I opened the door, I'd pull the red manual inflation handle to assist in case the slide didn't inflate automatically.
Great. What if your slide didn't inflate, Jennifer? What would you do?
After trying the handle, I would then block my exit and then redirect passengers to probably Jeanette's door or maybe the overwing exits.
Brilliant. Okay. Then once everyone's off the aircraft, obviously we want to evacuate ourselves, take any emergency equipment that we can with us, megaphone, torch, etc. Have a quick cabin check if it's safe for you to do so, and then obviously evacuate yourself off the aircraft.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Happy?
Yeah.
Good. Right, first aid questions then. You're on the aircraft and you've come across someone who's unconscious in the aisle, or they just collapsed in the aisle. What would you do, Jennifer?
Attract attention of another crew member,
Yeah.
and then I'd check around the passenger for any danger to himself and to myself, and then I would check for a response by gently shaking the passenger by the shoulders and shouting in both ears, up in your eyes, can you hear me? Just in case he might be deaf in one ear.
You've had no response.
No response from the passenger, then I would need to open up his airway by
Brilliant.
doing the head touch and lift.
Okay, how long would you assess his airway for?
10 seconds.
Brilliant. So Jennifer has assessed the airway for 10 seconds for breathing. She's been listening and feeling it. There's no breathing. What would she then do?
She needs to try and get 2 effective breaths into the casualty, and she's got up to 5 attempts to do that.
Okay, so Jennifer's managed to get 2 effective breaths in. What would you then do?
Okay, she's then going to need to check casualty circulation. Again, that's going to be for up to 10 seconds that she'll do that. So looking for signs of life, colouring of the skin, any
Yeah.
coughing movement in the throat, maybe flickering of the eyes.
Okay, so there's no circulation. What would Jennifer need to do?
She would then need to begin chest compressions, so she'd do 15 chest compressions. It was an adult.
Yes, it was an adult.
So she'd
yeah.
do 15 chest compressions.
Okay, to how many breaths?
2.
So it's 15 to 2. How long would you keep doing this for, Jennifer?
Until medical help arrived, I become exhausted, or the casualty jumped up and said, thanks very much.
Thank you. Any questions for SCP?
No.
First day, thank you very much. Just while we're talking about obviously the safety issues, can I just confirm with you, obviously the security is as important as all the SCP checks, so make sure you're just vigilant on every sector
Will
with
do.
that. Okay,
Yeah.
great, good. Okay, so once we get out on board the aircraft then, you're the number 3, obviously the number 2. Once we get on board the aircraft, make sure you've taken out everything you need out of your crew bags, get your crew bags put away in the overhead lockers. Jeanette, can you make sure that you do the SCP checks as soon as possible?
Yeah, sure.
And make sure that you're very prompt, obviously, with your checks. Pass them on to Jennifer, and Jennifer, as promptly as possible, pass them
Will
down
do,
to
yeah.
me. Until I get those checks, obviously, we can't board the passengers. I'll be liaising with the captain. So as soon as all the checks are completed, we'll get all the passengers on board. So boarding positions, Jeanette, just have some extension seat belts, so when you're at the overwing, you can start strapping the infants in as they're getting on board. Just remember, hand baggage, let's get as much of it put away as possible on boarding, and remember your restricted seats.
Okay.
Okay, so once passengers get on board, then we'll get them sat down as soon as possible. I'll ding the call bell, Jeanette, if you come down the front, and then I can do a head count, and then at that point I'll confirm how many passengers are on board the aircraft. Okay, so if you let Jennifer know the actual figures of the head count for me, brilliant. Jennifer, obviously when you get on board, just make sure you have everything you need for the flight. It's hot meals this evening for the crew, and make sure that there's plenty of water on. Make sure you have all your catering supplies and you've checked the water gauges, etc.
Fantastic. Anyone vegetarian?
No. You vegetarian? No.
Okay.
Okay, so once the passengers are all on board, as we said, we've done the head count, we'll get the doors closed up and obviously arm the doors on my command. We'll then go into the safety demonstration. So, Jeanette, as a number 3, where will you be for your safety demo?
I'll be stood at the overall.
Brilliant, I'll be at the front, and Jennifer, you'll be reading the safety demo.
Yeah.
Great, okay. So once we've done the safety demo, we're going to secure the cabin. Remember, your 15 points of cabin secure. Once again, pass the checks down as promptly as possible. So Jeanette, if you pass to Jennifer, and obviously Jennifer to me. As soon as you've secured the cabin, can you sit down, ready for takeoff? Great. Once we're on board, once we've taken off, then we'll do magazines straight away from the front of the aircraft to the rear, and then we'll get out with the service as quickly as possible. It is a level 3 service today, so it is 2 services. One is the standard with the single and double trolley, and the other one is 1 double trolley, and we'll go from row 1 to row 25. And Jeanette, are you happy with us to do that?
Yeah, that's
and then
fine.
you can sort out your paperwork at that point then, Jennifer. Okay, brilliant. So just in flight, just observe your passengers. Any call bells go off, please promptly answer the call bells. Remember, check your toilets. How often should we be checking the toilets, Jennifer?
20 minutes.
Every 20 minutes, cabin patrols?
Every 10 minutes.
Every 10 minutes, and obviously I'll be keeping an eye on the flight crew as well. When seatbelt signs do come on for landing, can we be prompt out in the cabin straight away to secure the cabin, collecting any magazines and rubbish at this point. Once you've given me cabin secure, once again, can you sit down as promptly as possible so I can pass those checks into the captain. Once we get on the ground then, for turnaround, if there's any magazines left in seat pockets, can we take those out?
Yeah.
Be very vigilant with your security checks. Any items of lost property, please let me know and I'll give them off to the dispatcher. If you do find anything you're not too sure about, leave it where it is and I'll get the captain, obviously, to get security to the aircraft. Remember your aircraft guardian when we are on the ground, that you make sure if anyone boards the aircraft and turn around that you ensure that you check their IDs.
Will do.
Yeah, good. So once again, we'll call for passengers once all the checks have been completed, and we'll get them on board as promptly as possible, observing the seat restrictions, etc., just as before in the first sector. So on the last sector then, the far road to Luton, we are the last people to use a bar, so we can make sure we fully count them and make sure that they're all sealed up, Jennifer, before landing back into Luton. Yeah. Once again, just make sure when the seatbelt signs come on that we promptly get out and secure the cabin. Yeah. Okay, once we're on the ground then at Luton, we need to do the extended security check because we are the last ones to leave the aircraft.
Okay.
So you're both happy with the extended checks? Great. Remember to pack all your items or belongings with you into your crew bag, and we'll come back into the crew room and do a full debrief.
Okay.
Anything you want to mention during the flight, obviously take a note of it and we can talk about it afterwards. Just remember in flight, if you do have defects, Jennifer, will you keep a running tally of them and let me know? And then I can write it in the book before we leave because the captain will need to sign it.
Okay, so if I just let Jennifer
Just
know,
let Jennifer
then I come
know.
across.
Yeah, and then I can just write it down as one lot at the end. Any questions at all?
No, I think you've covered everything,
No.
actually.
You both look very smart. Obviously,
Thank
you
you.
know, we have got a couple of long flights ahead of us, so make sure you keep up your appearances, obviously, as you go along. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
I'll just introduce you to the captain and first officer. This is Captain Robert Corrigan and First Officer Frank Lloyd.
Hello.
Ladies, how are you? Right, what have you been talking about this evening?
We have spoke about a pre-planned emergency landing, and we've also talked about basic life support and first aid.
Okay, any questions for us?
No? No, not at all.
Well, we're all briefed and we're ready to go, so we're happy
Do you know
to
the
go.
stand?
It's stand 9.
Good.
I'll just quickly ask, anyone vegetarian?
Yes.
Okay.
No, any breakfast, I'm not worried.
Okay.
All right, guys? Okay, good.
Brilliant.
Okay,
We're ready
we'll
to
walk
go.
out in a few minutes.
Okay, thank you. Right, let's get all our stuff together and we'll get going.
Number 9.